Greetings, everyone, as I do a recap on yesterday's game at Next Switch Game. Was a continuation of the Mummy's Curse campaign that I've been running, where they're now into a phase I call out of the desert as they're trying to get out of the desert. Yesterday they went into the desert. I figured they have another couple sessions before they arrived at their next destination, which is another waypoint before they start off onto the second part of the story arc that I have built for this particular campaign. For those of you that don't know, I'm using 3 Ravenloft modules to give me an idea of how to build this particular campaign. It's totally a homebrew, and it's been a lot of fun. Yesterday we saw the death of a second character in my campaign. First it was Roscoe the Halfling Assassin, and now yesterday was Ezii the Wild Elf Barbarian, Dex-based Barbarian. He's been a pain in my side for a while now, and he knew I was going to try to kill him, but he had no idea how I was going to do it until I sent him a file containing the attributes of a sword that he literally ripped out of the hands of another player in a contested strength battle. A sword that until he had a belt of hill giant strength, he didn't have the strength to wield or use effectively, in a very evil aspect. He claimed he wanted to save this other character from the evil cursed sword, and yet he totally failed his saving throw against that sword, and the sword literally took over from him. Now, this sword that he took was a sword that was used by the Pharaoh in previous episodes, which is a very cursed weapon. I am going to read you some of its aspects right now. And I got to move it back to this screen so I can see it and talk to you and not. Okay, let's see what it says about the sword. Curse. This sword is cursed and possessed by a vengeful spirit. Becoming attuned to it extends the curse to you. As long as you remain cursed, you are unwilling to part with the sword, keeping it on your person at all times. While attuned to this weapon, you have disadvantage on attack rolls made with weapons other than this one. In addition, while the sword is on your person, you must succeed a DC 21 Wisdom saving throw whenever you take damage in combat. On a failed save, you must attack the nearest halfling or gnome to you until you drop to 0 hit points or it does, or until you can't reach the creature to make the melee attack against it. You can break the curse in the usual ways. Alternatively, casting banishment on the sword forces the vengeful spirit to leave it. The sword then becomes a +1 weapon with no other properties. And honestly, its intelligence was a plus 14 to saves, and a wisdom of plus 13 to saves. That's a nasty little sword that I created specifically for this game. And basically, Russell's character was totally possessed by it. The long and the short of it, during the episode, 2 actions occurred, or encounters occurred in the desert. Once they found a herd of camels near an oasis, and when our new rogue decided to go visit the oasis and try to pilfer a camel or two, they quickly discovered that there was a shepherd. The shepherd was in a form of a sand giant. Sand giant from the Tome of Beasts, which is equivalent in height to a hill giant, maybe a stone giant, somewhere in there. Dark brown skin, slips into the desert with ease, likes laying down in the sands, covered in sands overnight as it sleeps. A very incredible beast with a nasty 8-foot long scimitar capable of doing 4d12 damage. That's what they could have faced. While the thief was captured in the hand of this giant, and the giant was thinking, thieves, poachers, and the like, the sword spoke to Ezii and had Ezii charge the giant, trying to fell the giant so it can get to the halfling and kill the halfling. The sword is quite possessed, as you heard, by that particular reading that I gave you before on the sword itself. Now, I let them use greater restoration to remove the curse from the sword and make it a +1 great sword, which they did do the next morning. Between then and the encounter and the sword being uncursed, Ezii ended up being killed by the party, as his possession was so total that even after they cut his hand off that was holding the great sword, he still tried to reach for it and grab it, and was charging for it and trying to grab it with his opposite hand to take the sword, to the point where the party had to finally put him out of his misery. Excuse me. Then they ran into another encounter where two members of the party split from the party and chased after some gnolls that they were trying to see what they were doing. Gnolls were attacking a bullet, and for some reason the two party members decided to attack the bullet instead of the gnolls, and they ended up having to fight the gnolls. They took damage. One of the players again was dropped to 0 hit points. I almost thought I had my second fatality of the game, but turns out the other player had a healing potion and put it to use and saved the life of that character. And then between the two of them, they were able to take out the 6 gnolls, letting the bullet escape. They didn't notice that there was a small kobold, red kobold, that was sitting on a large rock nearby, hiding from everyone. That was part of the encounter. It was taking actions, but they didn't see what the actions were, because it was basically just hiding and setting up little traps around him. So if anyone came near him, excuse me, the traps would warn him, and he has a chance to escape. His story will be told next time we gather as a party. I'm already starting to try to figure out how I'm going to run it if I have everyone that's possible showed up. I had 8 people show up, and I could have as many as 12 show up if everyone decides to show up for once. Yeah, next in 2 weeks. And although I have a system that seems to be working well with that large party group, man, it can be a massive headache trying to run that many people. But it's been a lot of fun the last 2 times I've done it, and I have no problem. I'm not going to turn anyone away as long as they're going to bring a meaningful role play and experience for everyone else. That's really all I have for you guys. What do you think of the new format for the videos? I have a new program that I'm using now. I like it better than the other ones that I was using. They're both, well, one was I paid for. This one was free, and it's better than the other one by far. Wow, I got a serious cough today. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well and you find this bit of information useful. And with that, thank you for watching on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. See you in 2 weeks.